This is Umar Ahmed for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. It's been a while since I've been joined by Carl Frampton. Obviously, the last time I saw you was in Dubai. How has retired life been, Carl?
It's all right, mate. Just taking it easy, going with the flow, really. Still trying to figure out what I'm going to do next, but just taking it easy and enjoying a bit of family time.
Yeah, I bet you have. But I think first time you've been back at a boxing show since then, and we know you like your punditry and you're very good at it from what you've done so far. So yeah,
Mark still in your neck.
From Tommy.
Okay. What's that? 6 weeks?
More than that.
8 weeks? Yeah. More?
He keeps messaging me saying he's really guilty and stuff, but I think half he's like laughing inside.
Fucking hell, that was a bad one.
But yeah, we know you like your punditry, and that is something that we all discuss kind of in the aftermath of that Carl Frampton will stay in the sport, and it was most likely to be in kind of a punditry role.
Yeah, no, I like being a pundit. I like doing this. I like boxing. I like the game, so it gives me a chance to go and watch it, enjoy the fights, and talk about them. And I always feel like I get decent feedback when I do my punditry stuff, because I like to be honest and say it how it is, really. And you know, sometimes that upsets people, but you know, I'm just being honest. That's all. Of
course, after the fight in Dubai, heartbreaking what happened to you for that. But we did get a sense that, in a way, you were a little bit settled with everything, and you'd realise kind of this is the end. These kind of last 6 to 8 weeks since the fight, has it been that same feeling, Carl, that I'm comfortable now? Yeah,
look, I'm over it, because in my head, going into that fight, like win, lose or draw, and I probably told you this straight after the fight, but I was retiring anyway. Obviously, I wanted to win the fight and go out on a big win. What a way to end your career, you know, becoming 3-weight world champion. But it just wasn't to be. And I went into the fight confident. Like, I thought I was going to win the fight. I had an amazing training camp. I sparred brilliantly. My sparring partners were confident that I was going to win the fight. But when I was in there, sparring and fighting is different. And on the night, I just didn't have it anymore. And that's the top and bottom of it. Like, Jamel's a good fighter, he's a big guy, but I couldn't get out of the road of his shots. I know he's a lot bigger on me, but I think a few years ago I may have been able to evade him a wee bit more, and that was it. I had no recollection of the second knockdown. Didn't remember it happening at all. I remember thinking at the time, didn't say it, but I remember thinking I wish Jamie had given me a bit more time. But I actually seen the fight back, and I was worse than I actually thought. In my head, I thought it was okay, but it wasn't. It was absolutely the right call from Jamie Moore. But yeah, I'm a fighter. Like, I want to stay in there, and that's it. Time to hang him up, and you know, I'm proud of a good career that I've had.
Good careers for being very modest. Since you've been at home, I'm sure you wanted to completely switch off from boxing, but has there been a few moments where you've sat down and just reflected on the tremendous career that you did have?
Nah. People remind you and talk about the big nights. I think it's going to be further down the line, and in maybe 10, 20 years' time when you really reflect back on it, but it's still all a bit fresh. And I recently got a Ring Magazine belt for Fighter of the Year, which I didn't get in 2016. So that was nice to get that. So, you know, I know I've done well in my career, and I know I've done a lot of things. I'm proud of them things, but I think reflection is for even further down the line, 5, 10 years' time.
Well, is there a point in your career or a moment that kind of strikes out now as where you thought it wouldn't get better than that, or a particular win?
The Santa Cruz win? Yeah, it's got to be a Santa Cruz win. The first world title win is right up there as well against Kiko, just because of where it was, purpose-built arena in Belfast, 16,000 fans, and to do it at home and kind of to achieve a dream that you've always wanted to achieve. It just felt like a relief. So that was a big moment. But the Santa Cruz win, not really expected by many people, to win the fight and go out there and win it. That was big. I've had many highlights in my career, but hard to differentiate between them two probably.
Well, someone who had an incredible moment just now, someone you know very well, Josh Taylor, becoming undisputed world champion. Yeah, just your thoughts on his fantastic performance and win. Yeah,
it was against a very, very good fighter in Jose Ramirez. A unified champion, Jose Ramirez, and to become undisputed. And try and put this into perspective. Josh Taylor's done it in 18 fights. Floyd Mayweather won his first world title in his 18th fight. So it's incredible, really. And the list of fighters that he's fought, you know, Postal, Baranchik, Prograis, you know, these are hard fights. And then he goes and beats Jose Ramirez on away soil, and he does it so convincingly as well. After what was a bit of a dodgy start, not a dodgy start, but I had Ramirez in front after a few rounds, and I was starting to get a wee bit worried for Josh, but he had a decent fifth round. The sixth round is when the first knockdown came, I think, and he just pulled away. Josh is. I've always said it, like, this guy's going to be a superstar, and but he's not getting the recognition, I don't think. Like, unified world champion, undisputed world champion in 18 fights. I think that I asked by BBC Scotland. It was a time now to, does he get the recognition he deserves? And I'm kind of like, well, usually the guys that should be giving him the recognition, and you aren't. So he's in my opinion, he's the best fighter in the UK at the minute.
Well, I wanted to ask you about that. I'd say the three major fights we've had so far this year, from a UK perspective, was yourself and Jamel Herring, Canelo, Billy Joe Saunders, and Taylor Ramirez. Now, obviously, two of them, with yourself and Josh, weren't picked up by either Sky or BT. We know Channel 5 stepped in late for yourself. And you've got, this weekend, Sky Sports box office showing Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul. Is this harmful for the sport, Carl?
I don't know if it is, and I can't really answer that question. It's all about money. I know that, and I know that the TV companies want to show the fights that they believe are going to make them most money. But forget about me and Jamel Herring. It was on Channel 5, which is a big platform on terrestrial TV. So there's more eyes watch that than most Sky or BT shows, which I was delighted about. But Josh Taylor, I don't know. He just needs to be pushed out. Like, everyone should know who Josh Taylor is. Every sports fan in the UK should know who Josh Taylor is, not just boxing fans, and they don't for whatever reason. And he deserves it a bit more. Boxing at now could be going. You look at the deal that Hearn's done with DAZN, a streaming platform. Fight TV and Triller getting involved, streaming platforms. That looks to be the way that it's going. Whether it's good or bad, I don't know, but I prefer the fighters to be getting the limelight rather than the YouTubers.
What do you think about what's happening this weekend in Miami?
I don't really care about it, to be honest.
No. I remember I was speaking to you about the YouTube stuff a while back, and you were quite passionate about it.
Yeah, no, well, I'm not anymore. I just don't care. Like, I'm not on social media that much anymore. I've kind of took a conscious decision to stay off it, and I feel like you kind of carried away and caught up in too much things that are going on online, and social media especially. But so I try to stay away from it. The taxi driver today actually told me that Mayweather and Logan Paul were fighting each other, or I would have completely forgot about it. So I just don't care about it, and that's the top. Like, that's the truth. I don't care.
Fair enough. Well, I'm sure something that you would care about as a boxing fan would be the collapse of Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. Just before we close off, your thoughts on that situation where it looks like Fury will be fighting Wilder now and Joshua potentially Usyk?
Yeah, look, I'm disappointed, like every other boxing fan on the planet, that's the fight that we wanted to see. I think that if the Joshua and AJ fight, the AJ and Fury fight hadn't got so close, we wouldn't be disappointed with AJ and Usyk or Fury and Wilder again, because they're great fights, but just because it felt like that fight was about to happen, it was on the verge of being done, and it's fell apart. It's a bit of a shame, but I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. I don't know the background of things, but you hear Eddie Hearn's opinions on it, and he's speaking very strongly about it, and it looks to be like he tried his best to make the fight happen. I don't know, maybe you have to look at the Top Rank side as to what happened there. I don't know. I can't really comment on it because I don't know, but it's a shame, and hopefully it does happen. It's got to happen at some time.
Well, of course, Tyson and Anthony need to come through their next fights, and I want to ask you about that. Even though Tyson completely obliterated Wilder in the rematch, I think people have to be careful about the third fight still.
That's the thing, and with both fights, because I think AJ's going to be too big for Usyk. Usyk is a good fighter, but we've seen Derek Chisora give him problems, and Derek isn't Anthony Joshua, and I think size is going to play a big factor in that. It's going to be a difficult fight for at times. Usyk will move a lot, but I think AJ says he'll win the fight. But Fury and Wilder, they're two big men. Wilder is still probably the biggest puncher in the heavyweight division if he hits you with one shot. So, you know, the AJ and Fury fight isn't the fight that it is if one of them guys lose in their next fight. So, I hope both of them win, to be honest, and we see them fight next after that.
Most definitely. Well, listen, Carl, it's great to see you in good spirits since I saw you in Dubai. And yeah, best of luck with the punditry tonight, and we'll speak soon, all right, top man?
Thanks, mate. Thank you.
Thank you, mate.
Bye, mate.
Bless.